Oh, and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have Jarvan versus Hecarim because they are the meta junglers, and his name is Ghoul, and I think that's a perfectly good name for someone who's abusing these champions. Now, on the main channel, I did in fact put out a video on how to counter these two champions, but I thought, hey, let's have a look at what diamond junglers are doing to see what we can correct and how they're playing, and apparently the red side bottom lane didn't track that. In fact, it was warded, so Jarvan's going to finish his red and move on over and try and kill the Nautilus, and obviously he's just going to get stunned, and now he's wasting his time. Now he's going to have to flash EQ, and he'll get the kill, which is, I suppose, okay. That's fine. Hecarim, in the meantime, said, cool, I'll start your wolves and then go into the blue. Now, obviously, as you all know, I much prefer Gromp for sequencing. However, when you do it in this particular case, why is it good and interesting? Because the Jarvan is going to go up eventually, get his wolves at like a 3:56, 4 minutes, and then he's going to think, hey, Gromp is afterwards. But it won't be, so he will have no idea what the timer is, because the Hecarim actually thought about things, which is rare, because most Hecarims don't think about anything whatsoever. We fall back down to our Krugs, and the problem with the lack of early vision is you don't always know where junglers are going, and now, during that whole, escapade, we watch this and we see the Jarvan go back to his Krugs, we see the Veigar ward and we see the blue is gone. So let's see what Jarvan does with this information. Obviously here we just want to make sure that those pings get reduced because it's kind of noisy in the background of a coaching video. So Jarvan goes ahead, finishes the Krugs. We'll go now to the Raptors. He'll get an early level 3 from some of these baby Raptors because of the kill. Hecarim shows top lane, and I think the most important thing... Yes, I love it. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Virkayu, founder of Virkayu.gg. I've helped tens of thousands of junglers reach their ranked goals from gold all the way up to challenger, and I make this content to help you climb with jungle 10 times faster. If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource and a dedicated program, including jungle courses, weekly classes, private videos seen nowhere else, a full backlog of coaching VODs, and more, and that is linked directly below. Let's observe. Okay, Q keeps stacks up, goes into the Teemo. He's tanking all of this minion damage. Look at this. Remember, the cast is 24 damage. You've got here, what, 41, 42 from the siege, 41, and 12 from the melees. So if you tank all of that in a first rotation gank, think about how that adds up. Each auto attack. Now, yes, of course, we have armor and resistances, but they did kind of nerf this, didn't they? A little bit. So here we go. Walks into a fat wave, tanks a whole bunch of damage, gets tick damage, burn damage, auto attack down, blinded, and double kill to the Teemo. So, Jarvan in the meantime, what on earth is this guy doing? Hold up. So the Jarvan in the meantime is kiting up instead of down, even though we know the Hecarim is there, and he didn't go from Krugs to the blue side, because obviously Echo has a little bit of prior here. Now the Hecarim's going to respawn upon death, and instead of worry about going to his blue side to defend this and maybe kill the Jarvan, because he will have, well, he doesn't have itemization advantage, but he has itemization advantage. He goes to the top side, reacts by going down later. The red side bottom lane is in fact going all in for the duration. Hecarim's now moving way too late to try and do something. Jarvan's going to join this and get kills here, 100%. Where's the flag? There it is. Didn't need to drag, just needed to drop down the pole. Random game. Random game. It's giving me, a bit of a... So, out of base, ideally, when your blue buff is still up, you kind of want to go ahead and defend your blue buff. You want to ping your bottom lane off so that they don't go ahead and actually commit this trade. The thing is, you don't ping it, they do commit the trade. The Hecarim eventually rotates down after doing the Scuttle Crab. Again, another minion wave now is hitting all of the Jarvan, who just walks back into it and dies a little bit himself. So, what... When we say these two champions elo inflate you, what we mean is if you've mained this for years and you are, climbing now that they're buffed, we're not talking about you. We're talking about the people who don't play these champions, and because they're so strong, you can just kind of show up and play like a possessed weirdo and still win games. So, right, cool. Let's take a little bit of stock. Right. We start in the red buff. We rotate over to grab a kill. We don't have early vision control for the Hecarim, which is a bit of an issue. We should. We don't. Hecarim decides to vertical jungle your top side. Alright. And now, again, this happened to me the other day. Sometimes so much nonsense happens that they get the benefit of this respawn camp experience. They're maximizing this experience, right? The respawn of the Wolves, respawn of the Gromp, he gets extra juice for his level. The Hecarim's problem was he committed, defenestration in the top lane window, and now goes to the top side, cuts down. Yeah, he gets something in the end and he gets a sequence again, but I'm not a fan of Hecarim's compromising the sequencing that much early, right? Like, you want the early level 6, you want that pressure, you want that power. And when you die in a gank like that and then you make the wrong subsequent decision, it's not so good. For me, I would always head down here just because the the Jarvan would have nowhere else to go. The Jarvan would do the Krugs Raptors, know you've done the blue side. He has nowhere else to go but to your bottom lane or but to your blue buff. He has no choice. So if you as the Hecarim can communicate and say, yo bros, can we actually defend this? If you have prior and presence, they will listen to you in Diamond. They will listen to you. And if they don't, guess what? You do technically a vitamization advantage. And if you're a Rengar or a Graves or something with a couple long swords, you can utilize that, right? Kill the Jarvan. I mean, he is strong, he shouldn't be in the game, you should just ban it, but you know what I mean. What this also indicates is that the Hecarim wasn't thinking about the Jarvan, just was going to go blind sequencing, which is what Hecarims do. And eventually after the kill, he does in fact do a full sequence. Now he goes back to the top side. We have a bit of a Hecarim E into a Vayne Condemn situation. See, this is a better gank now. Much better gank. Let's go ahead and Astro... Oh, it's unfortunate you died. I'm going to have to push you away. Sorry about that. Do it. Get yourself experience. Now, the Jarvan, on the other hand, is severely compromised in terms of his tempo just because of the level 1 shenanigans and stuff. And what are we looking at here from his perspective? He says, let me go and gank mid lane, but I'm level 4 and this is a level 6 Echo, so he gets caught up in a W almost for no particular reason. And again, you're down 2 levels, that does mean something. Now you're thinking, hey, I should go do the dragon, which is not true at all. You shouldn't even be thinking about it. Echo has prior, he's 6. Bottom lane, despite your, all of this fisting, looks quite anemic. 121 Kalista, 011 Nautilus, 35, he has 012 Zaya. Ugh, is not so good. So, just do your Krugs, man. Just do your Krugs. There's nothing else on this earth, on this plane of existence, in this particular variation of space-time. And now I want to go on a rant about cosmological models, but it's been about 12 years since I did a paper on that, so never mind. I'm gonna go down and do the Krugs instead. I just started with that in the first place. What's the point? Time efficiency, all the time efficiency. And again, a little bit of connection to the cosmology thing, but regardless. We now stick around here with nothing else to do again. We know there's an RNG Scuttle top side, we know there's a blue buff spawning on the top side, and we know that the Hecarim sequence bottom to top because, again, when you simply press tab and track numbers, you will be in a good position. The Rakan was astro baiting, and the Jarvan was, I guess, masturbating his pole because there's no reason for him to go all the way around this way in order to go for that gank off. Gank off, goodness gracious. The references are just writing themselves. Now, the Jarvan goes into the river over a ward, when the Hecarim here is saying, hey, you know what, I had a pretty good shove topside. This shouldn't quite give me 6, but at least I have huge itemization advantage. Why don't you just give him 6 randomly? It shouldn't. There you go. There we go. And now he falls back to the red. It's just a waste of time. Gotta be high tempo with Jarvan. That's why in the video I just released on the main channel, how to counter the meta, I showcased to you how to out-tempo a high-tempo jungler. Specifically the Jarvans. And the Hecarims as well. But Hecarim says, hey, I know the guy's going to have to go back to base. I know the bot lane shoved in. I'll take the free dragon. This is good. Apart from this cut, which should have been a direct, and apart from this gank tanking 1,000 minions, which maybe shouldn't have even happened in theory, or you waited a little bit, you could have done your right side quadrant first. He's had a solid game. He's 2-1-0, but he's had a solid game. And the Jarvan's kills are, largely results-based. I wouldn't necessarily say he's jungled with some sort of supreme godlike ability. But we are 6 now. Cool. We have here a Veigar in the mid lane with flash available. He activates a ghost because he thinks he's going to do stuff, but the guy has his flash. We E him back. We're going to fear him in that direction. The Echo is just not following. Does actually get the kill. He did follow. I have had a few Echoes recently where they kind of, sit back a bit. I've played Echo. I coach a lot of Echo as well. Good name, Charles Leclerc. But, you never know if the guy's going to act like a Ferrari, strategist, or if he's going to be one of the drivers in the Ferrari. And that's the problem, you see. So I've had a lot of Ferrari strategists playing the Echo lately, and you think, okay, look, the guy forced a flash, which means he can knock him back, which means he still has the offer of the fear. I need to go. And he does actually arrive. So I'm very happy with that. We got the flash, EQ, auto, reposition. That was good. Well done by the Hecarim there to wait for that flash. Terrible job by the Veigar to pre-flash. You want to kind of save that and try and not be in that position. And a good job to the Echo there. Now, he doesn't have ult up for another 31 seconds, so the Jarvan should say, hey, I'm the meta boss, and I will kill you. But he doesn't. He goes for the red buff steal. Anyway, and the problem with the red buff steal is... last I checked, and I just kind of want to run through this principle a little bit. It's a global timer, right? It's a global timer. So you see the Hecarim do this gank, go to the bottom side. You know the red is not available. What can we do instead? Do the Herald, man! Do the Herald, take the crab, do the Herald. We know he's going down, we know he's lower mana, we know he's lower in HP, we know he's gonna reset. Cool, you got his Raptors. Fun, excited. You denied him some camps, he doesn't care. We should have killed this guy too. Easy kill for us, as long as you time your EQ plus your ult, that Echo should die. Now, the Hecarim, unfortunately, and again, I hate it when they do this. Not hate it when they do this, but unfortunately, for what I was saying, is able to punish the bottom lane with another rotational kill. So that's good. Like, this is good rotation from the Hecarim, and the Jarvan then does get the benefit of the Herald, but the fact that he goes and looks for the red first, you know, I don't think he's thinking about these things. You could always go boom, boom, boom. The problem is if he resets after blue and comes topside, you no longer get the Herald, right? Because the Hecarim, again, has a lead, has item advantage, and now you're going to fist over this with coin in your pocket, not for the Witcher, and the Hecarim's just going to be rich. Rich pony horse. Look at them. Aztec skin as well, you know, before Spain showed up. So, in this particular case, the Jarvan is fortunate enough that his bottom lane was so bad that Hecarim got another kill. Also finishes the Shojin pathway. Teemo pushes this one. Jarvan takes all of his stuff, goes to the mid lane, says hello, hello, hello. Echo now has his ghost up, which means we don't want to all in that. This guy shows over here. We say, Teemo, look out. Teemo, look out. Teemo, look out. Teemo, look out. Uh-huh. 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 I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, the Veigar's killing the Echo, who does have his Ghost Team. Ghost still available. So we're going to go dunking, force it. We'll get some damage proc there, but we'll get a Gore Drinker Iron Spike Whip active. The Veigar mispositions in order to allow the Echo to E back onto him, but the Jarvan is able to get the kill. And we do dump this sucker right here. So, all in all, not too bad. Now, again, a lot of chaos. 3-1-1, 66 CS, 4-2-1, 62 CS. I think this is a great, you know, if we were to talk honestly here, we're seeing a great representation of Diamond. Some good things, man, like some good decisions, some good reactions, some good counter jungling, some good objective secures, and then we're seeing some waffling, some imperfections, some warts, some, hey, why is that camera 4K Ultra HD Giga Galactic Edition? I would prefer 720p jungling, because they don't want to see everything, right? The light is on and we see your dust, sir. And that's Diamond. And it happens that way, you know? And of course, at this point, we know Hecarim's most likely going topside, because took the blue, ganked bottom lane, he sequenced that section, he died top lane, he didn't take the red, so he'll snack those things up. We'll go back to base and get Gore Drinker. Hecarim says, well, I'm a little bit lost pony. And then Echo says, yo, my little pony, can you please show up and gank my lane? Because for some reason, there is a Veigar here who needs to die. We'll just keep swoopy-dooping with a helicopter Q. Obviously, that cooldown reduction is going to be nice. We're going to smite the Rakan, make sure he dies as well. And the Hecarim has done a very good job exploiting... He pressed E good. And he pressed R good. Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, I don't respect it at all. Not at all. Like, I respect a good Hecarim now. A great jungler who's also a great Hecarim, I do love to watch, and I've made a lot of EGU videos about it. So people say, well, you hate Hecarim. I do personally, because it counters everything I play. It's a personal bias. I acknowledge that. But this champion also auto-inflates so frequently in the metas with certain item builds. But at the same time, when you have a good jungler on Hecarim, it is good to watch. It is good to watch. You know what I mean? Like, I say the same about Shaco. I personally don't like Shaco. I beat Shacos, but when I see a good Shaco who thinks about the game in a way that just fuses with the champion, it is fun to watch, analyze, and present to you guys. So do keep that in mind when I'm saying these things. I hope you can. People cannot. We wait and bait and show up once more. A little bit of a knockback and another kill for the Hecarim. I do like what he's doing here. Like, the staggering of his abilities has been good. So memes aside, it has been solid. And I like the lane impact we have here. And the Jarvan, in the meantime, equal and opposite, says, all right, Hecarim's camping bot lane. Let me go for this dive. Big difference between this right here, what you just saw, and, say, this Platinum and Emerald coaching session I had recently. They just didn't go for this. They did the Krugs instead. Here they weren't available, but they did the Krugs instead, watched this as an availability, and didn't go for it. By the time they finished the Krugs, the guy had gone back to base. They missed a free kill and dive. That's a problem. That's like going for a burger and saying, no, I don't want fries and I don't want a milkshake. And while you're at it, add more gherkins. Makes no sense, you know, go for the dive, get the kill, fall back to this, shove this out, cool, nice, take everything else, fall back to this side, reset, now we can go for the dragon. Or you could reset before doing your blue side, right here, and contest your red side if you're strong enough, because you know the guy is most likely trying to take your red side at this particular stage, right here, hello, sir. Now we look at it and we say, right, do we beat you one-on-one? Obviously, it's a battle of smites, which Hecarim gets, and now he runs away. Jarvan doesn't have ult, and even if he did, Hecarim can ult out of it. But you saw a straight-up auto-attack fist. Jarvan wins. That's why he's the S+. You guys watching this? Support roams mid. Fed Echo. I mean, he's 1-1-3, but he's got a 500 gold lead. That's kind of weird, right? You know, you spam gank a lane, and you think, hey, they're all fed. You know you got the kills, but then you look at it, it's like, oh, they're actually not there. Oh, has anyone ever seen a Nautilus hook miss? Seriously. Is it like Bigfoot? Or a noise in the forest? Obviously, it does make a noise. But has a Nautilus ever missed a hook? I think it's been Riot Games adding an RNG script to the hook within the game that lets him miss against his will. Just because it's so easy to hit and it's such a big hitbox, anyone could hit 100% hit hook rate, so Riot have to instill this artificial variance to make sure that Nautiluses look like they're not scripting. Guarantee it. Guaranteed. Anyway, memes aside, once more, we are now Bing shilling in this game, so let's speed it up a bit. Hecarim's 8-1, huge lead. Loved his rotational power, loved his repeat ganks and lanes. Don't like the 2 deaths to the Teemo, but again, Teemo is the devil. And the Jarvan's done a solid job kind of being active, but he's mostly been responding, right? He's mostly been responding to the Hecarim versus actually going for the controlling plays and dictating the pace of it. And that's the downside here. Now he's not even in the picture here. Watching this fight and you're thinking, where's Jarvan? Yeah, me too. I'm thinking that as well, guys. Not in the picture. 4-1-1. He's got a higher KP. Oi! There we go. We did get it. Echo backline. Ghosty is available plus flash. We're going to try and avoid the shrooms, which we do. Okay. Stuck. Hook hits. Nautilus gets that kill. Hecarim's coming out of base here. Curious as to why he didn't exactly... Well, actually, we're focused so much on this. I didn't focus on the Hecarim. Hold up. Talking about the Jarvan. Where are you, Jarvan? Where are you? Like, Hecarim's low. Yeah. This is... Okay, yeah. Okay. He's super giga low. So he must base. Good, okay. Ignore me. It's late. We had replay issues. I had to go on a long journey to find this replay. Forget me. Saw the Hecarim. We noticed it. I was just focusing so much on the Jarvan. But he does go back to base, uses the Hextech portals, and he can now rotate over to this, and he can definitely kill Jarvan. If there's one person that can, it is the horse. Hey, I guess he deserves it. Yeah, so this is available now. Gold amount, 8.1k for the Hecarim, 7.3k for the Jarvan, so it's not like, again, he's doing tragically. It's just, this is a problem. Right there, that item with Stride Breaker, which he's going, which is good too. In this case, I think Stride Breaker is... Would you go Stride or Gore this game? See, the thing is, Gore here is great versus Teemo, great versus Jarvan, great versus anyone you can get onto, but we've got your Teemo with a bit of a movement speed kick. The Jarvan has high mobility. Veigar, while he's not the issue, Xayah and Rakan do have mobility, so we would like to stick to them as well. Both items are good, obviously, but Gore Drinker would be better into a low-range, non-mobile melee comp, as it's always been, right? But Jarvan, in his case, because he's got EQ and R and such a low rotation, he can use Gore Drinker perma. We see a big fight going on here. Jarvan has, in fact, died. Let's observe how. EQ's onto the back line here. Kalista says, let me kite you out. The irony. The absolute irony of me saying Gordrink is always good on Jarvan, when Stridebreaker would have maybe helped him out, but we'll blame that on his overall mechanics and decision to not do anything about bot lane. Hecarim rotates over, a little bit of an unstoppable, no reason. Go on the Rakan here, juicy. Cool. Now we push this up, activate the Herald, team is pushing top lane, Vega's holding mid lane. I like this elevation of game state as well. Leave the base, down to the wolves, down to the Grump. Jarvan's on the Grump himself. He's got an RNG Scuttle. He says, well, free dragon for me, I guess. And you're saying, well, why isn't Jarvan on the dragon? Good question. You're an astute individual and you will no longer be in your rank and you've gained 500 LPs over the next 2 weeks in your climb for recognizing that. Good job. There's no reason. There's no reason. I feel like in this particular case, the idea is to get strong enough that if we have to give up 2 dragons because we sacrifice bottom lane, when it comes to the 3rd dragon, we want to be in a position to fight water control. He wasn't, he isn't, he doesn't, and now he's going to die for it. Nautilus hits the hook of destiny. Hecarim just repositions, pressing buttons, running around, phase rush gaming, ult straight into everybody, and of course the Jarvan dies to the Echo. Now he can survive 18,000 years because Spear of Shojin, and also, he died. Now let's go back a little bit here to watch the Jarvan, because he EQs to the backline too deep, and of course, gets immediately killed for it. The Hecarim's issue here is a lack of mana, alright? And obviously the W is not going to do as much as it used to. I just had a pentakill situation, and of course, presses the button. So target's missing HP. So, contextualizing this, it kind of looks like the Spear of Shojin. The main channel video, the pentakill that opened the video, is a Hecarim. He has Spear of Shojin, he chases everybody down, tanks about 10,000 shots here. Obviously, he's got more itemization. And I was kind of thinking maybe you would have this, but as I said in the video, percentage HP is huge against these champions. Unfortunately, Kindred's was just nerfed, but you could still play Kindred against Hecarim. Let's jump forward here to see what the next fight will bring us. Level 13, okay, 13-3-4. Hecarim is now running over the Jarvan, who takes the gates of untold power, and is now on the other side of his team, while his team is posturing in front of the Baron, so they're going to lose. Getting an allergic reaction to this. So, the Hecarim overall, despite my complaints early on with some of those things, as I said, has played well. So we give him credit, right? Regardless of champion perspective and bias, we give him credit for this. The Jarvan has jungled way worse this game. 100%. Like, your team is posturing for Baron, you take the Hextech portals, it's Diamond. Now, I know we like to meme Diamond, but they do have better eyesight than any rank below them. So, you know straight up that, oh look, Jarvan's going through the Hextech portal, why don't we just engage? He's on the other side of the wall. If we just engage and kill the team without the Jarvan. So a lot of the time Jarvans and Hecarims, with their power at the moment, do counter themselves. And now people are thinking, but isn't Jarvan way stronger than Hecarim objectively? Yes, he is. I ban Jarvan, not Hecarim. But Hecarim with Spear of Shojin, Stridebreaker, Goredrinker, that is extremely potent and super giga strong. Throw in a Black Cleaver as well. Most Hecarims are still playing in the wrong itemization, that's why his data is corrupted. Now here the problem is, from Blue Team's perspective, we need to try and make a pick. We don't know where Hecarim is, and in theory Hecarim should be with his team taking all of this shit. We don't know that he's AFK farming in his jungle here, and that's the downside to this kind of situation. At the same time, from Hecarim's perspective, it doesn't really matter as much unless we can kill the Kalista, but it doesn't look like we can. And it doesn't matter as much because, if I was to finish my sentence, not only is our bottom lane fed and mid lane fed because we had good lane impact, but we can also Hextech portal across. Big thing. Also, we are fast. So that's conditional, right? That's the conditional information you need for your games. Because I talk a lot about, hey, don't sequence when your team wants to siege and fight. But if you're a Hecarim, you can actually afford to go ahead because you can take those gates. You can speed up really quickly. Nocturne has his ultimate. Twisted Fate can do camps if he needs an item because he has his ultimate. Karthus can press R from the Gromp. But if you're a Volibear, or Mundo and things like this, and you're over here doing this and your team wants to siege and they're ready to engage and you're not present, dangerous. Dangerous. Again, in lower elos, you can lose this. You can afford to do this a bit better as you climb, but trust me, in Diamond, your team is still dying here. Like, Vayne is splitting here with Baron, we're farming with Baron, Kalista's going back to base, we're going down to Scuttle. Like, I feel like we should be pushing this map a little bit more. Shadowing the Vayne here. Again, we'll rotate as the benefit that is granted to Hecarim's movement speed. Okay, easy death. Good death for the enemy team. But yeah, careful about this. That's all I'm saying here. Keep your eyes on this. Don't go farming in Astra trying to Flame Horizon in solo queue when your team's trying to win. Now, obviously, you all know I like my Flame Horizon, and I do get obsessed over it a little bit, but you've got to try and not let it take you out of the game. So we have a dead, yeah, the Ferrari is definitely dead. See, now we're just stalling out the game a little too much, and this is the kind of stuff I don't like in this elo, because if they scale, like a Veigar or Xayah is pretty good, Jarvan's still good later. You just don't want to coin flip, right? You have a big lead, but we've all seen the throws. Now, Echo's doing the wolves. The Rakana's out of position, so if the Rakana's better disciplined, he wouldn't be out of position. Low range, good wave clear, makes it tough. You need to leverage a bit of 1-3-1 here, my people. Vayne, push, Hecarim, push, or Echo, push. Echo better, because Echo's TP, but where's the split push? Take this wave, shove up here, force pressure, force rotation, and Hecarim can dive this if he's in the middle. You gotta use a bit of macro here, guys. You can't just sit around and do that. And now you're seeing why there's a difference between Master Plus closeouts and Diamond closeouts, because even though the Diamond closeouts are still better than the Emerald closeouts, in that they deny stuff, right? They deny the camps and so on. They just don't have the lane pressure. No one's pushing bot lane into the inhib. We have an open inhib, and no one's leveraging this wave into anything. Now we're going to go to the mid lane. What I'm talking about. Kalista goes mid lane. They recognize that Kalista's out of position, so they're going to go in on the Kalista. Hecarim's going to rotate over to try and do something. Unfortunately, it's a Jarvan with the EQ. Boom! Hexdrinker is not going to save you. Double death. Now, Vayne's out of position. We can chase down the Vayne. There we go. Another knock-up. Genji does have the percentage, but doesn't really matter. True damage is more for a tank thing anyway, but does help. Echo's now out of position. A lot of damage from the Echo. Be very careful there, Hecarim. Run, run, run. Your team's got it. Run, run. Whew. I would not play with the coin flips there. EQ every half a second, it feels like. This is what I'm talking about with the red team. No reason for this game to... it's just dumb. Absolutely dumb. Okay. Bounties, bounties, bounties. Gold least now. 7k. Now the Teemo overcommits and dies. Hecarim's going to chase down the rest of the team, even though his Echo is dead. He does have TP, and Nautilus is dead. Now he's going Giga Deep, saying, I can kill everybody, everybody. TP is being committed by the Echo. We have a more drinker, Hex drinker. Jarvan's farming his red. This is the eternal diamond conundrum. This happens so much in this elo. I'm bored of it. You're bored of it. Next Baron is up. Right. Hecarim is still dead. We jump 40, still dead. Jarvan is alive, so they start this up. They can do because they have a Kalista. Remember that is important, but it's also risky. Oh my goodness gracious. Jarvan just instantaneously died. I don't have much to say about this other than I leave my mid-game macro guide linked below every single video. It helps you avoid this. They do the Baron. Then they pushed into the zone. Elder is the dragon that will be spawning. We don't want to coin flip this Elder if possible. So we should probably look for some good positioning. Our Vayne top lane is out of position. The Nautilus is out of position. Our Ek is out of position. Now we see an opening. We see an opening. Here comes the horse. Kill the target in front of you. Good. Now kill the next target in front of you, which is the Veigar. He's primary, please. Echo's on the bottom side here. Well, not Echo, but Jarvan. Blue team. Does get a kill. Doesn't matter. Get me out. End the game, please. There you go. So, as you can see, both champions strong. Both champions have the pros and cons. Diamond macro is still terrible, but it is better than Emerald, so don't take it the wrong way. And this game in low elo will probably go to 45 minutes, but hopefully you can see some windows to make this 5-6 minutes shorter with some of those tips. But there you go. Virkayu.gg for your courses, your private Discord, coaching classes, all that good stuff, coaching VOD library, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully.